them, just from dealing art, Chinese art in U.S. myself, I think Westerners are more, they're more acceptable of the contemporary style, such as oil painting. This is something they can understand more. I'm sure there are some, Chinese art experts and they really understand 齐白石, 张大千, but most Western art collectors, those kind of style painting really are not natural to them. So I think they can connect with those more contemporary painters. I don't know which one you're referring to, probably Zhang Xiaogang or Fang Weijun. Yeah. So they can relate to this kind of painting more readily, more easily. It's more like, their style. Then another thing I think is this wave of contemporary Chinese art. Those it's like a big wave that was just swept over the world art market. Very proud because I'm Chinese to see our artists fetch such high prices. Of course, they're tremendous talent and their art have meaning more than just it's a painting, a portrait. It has artistic meaning, it has historical meaning, it has cultural meaning. All those things make our work make it very valuable. The other thing is probably just rarity. It's very like all fine art is one of a kind. It's just one piece, and somebody wants it, they have to pay a lot of money for it. Yeah.
What about calligraphy? Because as a Chinese, I couldn't tell every different style of the calligraphy. Why do you think some Westerners would spend tons of thousands of dollars just to buy a piece of ancient South Asia calligraphy art? I don't understand calligraphy very much myself. I'm not an expert. I do contemporary Chinese art. I look at them as almost like abstract paintings because they're almost abstract, especially to Westerners. They don't even understand what the character means, so it really is abstract to them. But I think same as like a good piece of artwork. It doesn't matter if it's abstract or it's realism or expressionism. It kind of speaks for itself. It has like an intrinsic power. It's like you don't need to understand it. It's like when we listen to opera, you don't have to understand the language to appreciate the beautiful voice. I think that probably has something to do with it. I think like those people that did calligraphy, they probably practiced for 20, 40 years. So the power is behind it. It's some kind of mastery of art, even though we cannot fully grasp what it means. I think an avid art collector can see that. Some people that have that eye. It's like, wow, this is it's not contrived. It's not tentative. You can just see it's like flowing. Then it's like the qi in Chinese means the energy is flowing.
Exactly.
It makes you feel like very passionate about that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just it's not contrived, so you can feel that. Then the other part you mentioned, antiques or old. Of course, anything that's old and has been carried down for hundreds of years, and it makes it more rare. I think that also adds value to it. Yeah.
I know that nowadays people are so busy, and it's hardly people will have one moment to sit down and have a cup of tea and have a breakfast with their friends. What is your way to relax yourself?
I do yoga. I meditate. I also always wanted to learn to do Chinese qigong. I just never got around to it. I think meditate and give yourself a few moments to relax is a great way to collect your thoughts and slow down.
And I remember in your newsletter you told people how it's very easy to feel busy, but actually to find a moment to be stillness and really think about who you are and what you want to be is very important to your life.
Absolutely. I think in this day of age, in America and I think in China now, people's lives are so busy. We feel so compelled to do something all the time, and so we don't take the time to relax and to spend some time with ourselves. Especially when we encounter a difficult situation or a crisis, you just become overwhelmed. Then you don't know what to do because you feel you cannot think clearly. I think those are the moments, perfect moments to just sit down and do nothing, and collect your thoughts and let things settle. I give the analogy of a bucket full of muddy water in one of my newsletters. It's like, it's a bucket full of muddy water. You can't see anything. Of course, you can make a decision if you cannot see clearly. But if you give it some time, let the mud settle, then it's clear water. Then once you can see clearly, your decision comes to you. It's more natural. It's like the Tao. So.
Mm-hmm. And you said you're currently studying Taoism.
I've been reading about Taoism for.
It's very interesting. So were you studying Taoism back then when you were in China?
No, that's a really interesting question. Absolutely. I think when I was in China, I was more intrigued by Western culture. I read many Western philosophers and Western cultures. Then after living in the United States for about 17 years now, I found myself going back to the Eastern philosophy. It's more natural. It's almost like after you sing a lot, then it's my natural inclination to go back to my root. It's not a conscious choice. I'm not saying I'm Chinese, therefore I should practice Tao or study it. It just seems really natural